Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So good evening and welcome to Northern Nights. It's a virtual open house presented by Northern Michigan University. And I'm Heather Isaacson. I am an assistant professor here at Northern in the Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences program. I'm a speech language pathologist by trade, but I have been teaching at Northern for the past 9 years. So I'm very excited to be here today and help you learn more about Northern Michigan and then some of the programs that are represented by our students here. So let's see, I reminded you that we do have the Q&A feature turned on. So the students at home, feel free to submit questions you'd like to ask our panel. So let's go ahead and meet our student panelist. So students, please introduce yourself with your name, your hometown, your major, and your year in school. So I think we'll start with Sarah.
Hello, I am Sarah Robinson. I am a senior nursing student from Glen Ellen, Illinois.
And then Elena.
Hi, my name is Elena Domke. I am from Onaway, Michigan, clinical laboratory science major, and this is my 5th year at Northern.
Okay, welcome to both of you to the virtual meeting. So, and then Bethany.
Hi, I'm Bethany Beavers. I'm a pre-med student with a biology physiology major. I'm from Peshtigo, Wisconsin. There was something else. Oh, this is my 2nd year. Yeah.
Yep. And then Gino.
Hello, my name is Gino Pacifico. I am studying medicinal plant chemistry at NMU. It is my 4th year here, and I am from Clarkston, Michigan.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. All right, Maddie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maddie Haig. I am a first year in the master's program for athletic training, and I'm from Roscoe, Illinois.
All right. Well, great. Thank you all for being here tonight. And so we're going to start off with a pretty easy question or statement. And I would like you all to start off with telling everyone a little bit more about your major. So we can go in the same order again if you'd like. Sure. Okay.
So I am a nursing student. I am almost done. I have 1 semester left after this. And Northern's program consists of prerequisites, which might take you like 2.5 years, and then a 2.5-year nursing program here. It is a very intense program. It can be competitive, but it's very fun, and it's a really great community to be a part of. Sorry.
Good. Do you have any highlights that you'd like to just say about the major, just in general, anything that's exciting that you get to do, or what would you say?
So with NMU's nursing program, you get a lot of like hands-on clinical experience. They throw you in right away your first semester with fundamentals. Generally it's held, your clinicals are like in a nursing home for that semester, and then you move on, and from there on out you are in the hospital doing work, taking care of patients, assuming the care as the student nurse, what you would do as a nurse. So it's a really good experience.
Wow, awesome, good. Elena?
So the clinical lab science program is a 2-year or a 4-year degree. Which are the MLT, which I have, 2-year degree, and the MLS, which is the 4-year degree. I currently have finished my 2-year MLT, and I am working with that job. And now I am finishing my 4-year, and I will be done in May with that. And it's a really fun program. You learn a lot. You get out in the field very quickly, getting an adult paying wage, so that's very nice. It's a very small program, very friendly with all the professors, easy to go get help whenever you need it. I think the best part of it is you get to learn how to draw blood. I think that's so fun. And you learn how to process it and give results right then and there.
Anything else?
I don't.
I-
It has a pretty much 100% job finding right now, so
Good,
very assuring
good,
field.
awesome. Very good, thank you. Go ahead, Bethany.
Okay. Well, my major is biophys, which I mean, I'm doing it with the pre-med program. Yeah, I don't know, because you can use the biophys for a lot of different things. But like with the pre-med program, it's just a lot of gearing towards the future. But the staff here is like really good about preparing you for med school applications and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, it's a good program.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how they might prepare you for the med school application process? Is there volunteer hours that you have to complete, or do they guide you in that way to let you know here are the things to make your application stronger?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you definitely need volunteer hours and clinical hours and shadow hours and research hours, and it's a lot. And all of the staff here knows it's a lot, and they're really good about like pointing you in the direction that you should be going and like having the connections to really get you plugged in where you should be. And I know a lot of the alumni in the pre-med club, they do like practice interviews and like help, like we have the career services that like help you look over your resume for and like application and all of that. So it's really just like a good team network to get you going. So
It sounds like they, despite the fact that it's maybe not a specific major similar to nursing or clinical lab sciences, they still have great guidance for you to move you through the process and help you be successful in completing that application and getting into the med school of choice.
yeah.
Great, good, thank you, Bethany.
Yeah.
Gino, yeah, go
Me?
ahead.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
I
Gino.
forgot. Okay, perfect. All right, so the medicinal plant chemistry major kind of prepares students to be equipped to know analytical chemistry techniques such as gas chromatography, liquid chromatography, and using instruments to analyze plants and other things that you would look at in an analytical chemistry position. So you could work in the Food and Drug Administration with this degree, looking at pesticide residues or quality control work. You could also work in the cannabis industry, looking at the concentration of different chemicals in the cannabis. And the way that this program, the medicinal plant chemistry program, prepares you to achieve those things is by going through general chemistry classes until you have organic chemistry classes, and then ultimately reaching up to the higher level specific analytical chemistry courses. And the medicinal plant chemistry major is unique because there's two concentrations that you can choose to focus on. You can focus on the entrepreneurial side of medicinal plants and their products that you can make from just the plants themselves. So things like essential oils or things like even soap, essentially.
Oh,
So, exactly, right? The business side of those industries. And then the other concentration is more focused towards bioanalytical studies, which looks at structural chemistry and identifying molecules, as well as microbiology, as well as bioinformatics, and just these classes that prepare you to work in very structured scientific chemistry settings, essentially. But the program is really unique as well because it has a lot of opportunities for students in the program to incorporate what they're learning in class outside of class by having research opportunities with different professors in the department that are working, either in organic chemistry or specifically with cannabis itself.
Mhm.
And so but the research lab that I'm currently participating in is looking at cannabis sativa, hemp, not marijuana, because you can't necessarily grow that in universities that are federally funded at the moment. But the difference between the two is the THC content, essentially. But the research that I'm working with is looking at seeing if cannabis can degrade pollutants in soil and water. So yeah, there's a plethora of opportunities for students to get involved with teachers and their work
Good.
outside of class. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Gino.
thank you.
Okay, so for athletic training, it's a little bit different. So technically it's a 3+2 program. So you get 2 degrees in 5 years. So the 3-year you get your bachelor's in sports science, and then you get your master's in athletic training those last 2 years. And I am a first year, so I started this summer. Actually, I started taking classes and everything. Learned like a lot of skills about the lower body, and then this year I'm learning about the upper body, so that we can get into our clinical rotation. So I'm actually at the Marquette Senior High School right now, helping with the football team and the volleyball team and everything. So I'm there every day, helping them out. Yeah, and it's really amazing because I got to learn one of my favorite things, which is taping. I got to learn how to tape ankles and wrists and knees and all of the above. So it's really cool.
Nice. And did you start here at Northern then before you went into the sports science program, or?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
Okay.
started here, and I took an extra year just to kind of get everything done. But I'm still in the program still.
Okay.
So yeah, I started this year. So there's a group of us. There's 9 of us in the program right now because there's different cohorts. Because you apply every year. It's an every year thing. So yeah.
Mhm. Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. So here's another question for you. Would any of you like to elaborate on what your classes are like, and maybe include what hands-on experiences or opportunities that you've had in your program? So I think most of you touched on it, but maybe there's a certain experience that you had that was very special to you, or it helped you really solidify, yes, this is my major, and I'm so happy that I'm here. So would any of you can jump in? We don't need to go in a special order, but you can just maybe jump in. It looks like Gino maybe is ready.
Oh yes, always. A specific event that really solidified in my mind that yes, I'm going to be a chemist. I feel comfortable being in a lab where I'm not being told what to do, but I know what to do based on skills learned in class. Essentially, is when I was taking one of the upper level chemistry courses, biochemistry to be specific. And we had to come up with a set of chemicals that would be in a range of a chemical test. So we had to come up with specific concentrations of these chemicals so that they would fit in a standard curve for this test we were forming in the lab. And without any teacher, help with the calculations, it was very independent work to figure out, what we need to do to make our chemicals be in this range.
Okay.
The first time I did that, it was a failure. And then me and my lab partner had to come together and troubleshoot, what went wrong in this first trial that we had, and then coming up with a solution together without our teachers, their hand walking us through the process. We got good results the second time we tried it based off the first error that we had. And so doing something, without my teacher, like babying me to do, really in a 400 level chemistry course really gave me the confidence to be in a lab setting and not be like, am I doing this right? kind of
Nice.
Mindset. But yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great experience. And then especially with that the research side of it with trial and error and finally getting that correct answer and being excited about, yes, I did it. And I did it by myself. So that's awesome. Thank you.
It's always happy when we have good data.
That's great. Good data is important. Excellent. Elena, it looks like you're ready to share.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have been through all of the CLS classes, so I know what to expect. And then having worked over the summer and the previous summer in the lab, I too feel like that's where I belong. I know what I'm doing. I don't have to be told. I can just do it correctly and such. So coming back to Northern the last 2 years, I've been a TA in all of the CLS labs. The professors trust me, I guess, enough to just go ahead and teach these kids how to draw blood, how to use the microscope, how to streak their plates in micro lab, and just how to analyze everything that we're supposed to be doing every day in the clinical world. So I
Nice.
think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's great to hear these stories because it really shows that the preparation that you're given has allowed you to progress to that point of allowing you to be in the lab on your own and teaching other students different procedures. So I think that's awesome that, you know, you had that. Maybe it was a little hand holding in the beginning and then you moved on to, well, here I am on my own doing this by myself. So awesome.
Yes.
Good. Maddie, go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, starting this summer in the program, I was really nervous and I was like, I don't think I can do this. This isn't the major for me. And I've been here for 4 years. So I was like, oh, I'll find something. But then once that first day of class hit and I started learning like different ways how to tape, and like that was like my big thing. And like even doing special tests to like figure out, you know, if somebody like tore their ACL or something. Like I knew that was definitely the major for me. I was very happy.
Oh, good. Good. Awesome. And being able to do something that you love and enjoy is so important. So thank you. Sarah?
Yep. So my second semester in the nursing program, it was like med surg nursing, 1. And it's the first semester that you're in the hospital and they send you through this like really long skills camp that's like 3 weeks long. So you learn like how to put an NG tube in and an IV and like just all this technical hands-on stuff. And then they just throw you into the hospital and it's very stressful. No one fully knows what they're doing. You have a lot to learn while you're there, but it's all really good experiences. And one of the weeks that I was on the 7th floor of the hospital here, which is the neuro-ortho floor, I was given a very difficult patient intentionally, and I didn't know that. All of my other peers had been given what seemed like pretty easy patients. Some of them were being discharged. They're all very cooperative. Mine was very aggressive, not compliant, not cooperative at all. And I didn't know why. I thought it was a punishment that I was getting this patient. They were very difficult to work with that day or that week because I had them for 2 days. But they had a lot of meds. They had like 40 plus meds, and you have to memorize those meds for the next day when you have to give them so that you know like what you're giving, why you're giving it, the side effects, everything about it, so that you can be confident in giving that medication. And at the end of that day, I was just like so like stressed about like everything that had happened because people don't always want to listen to what healthcare providers say. And I tried my best that day to just diffuse situations, help the patient with what they needed, getting them whatever assistance they might need from like physical therapy, occupational therapy, what have you. And at the end of the day, my instructor pulled me aside and he said, Sarah, like, you did really well today. Like, we didn't give you that patient because we were trying to punish you. We gave you that patient because we knew you could handle it. And I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. That was a really rough day, but like, then I got to like reflect on everything that I had done that day, and I got to do so many skills that day and like talk with so many other like healthcare specialists within the hospital. Like I had to talk to a doctor that day and other nursing staff and respiratory therapy and just like all of these different modalities, and it was just a really good experience overall. And I was like, wow, okay, this is it, I can do it.
Good. That sounds like an awesome day, and you'll probably remember that your entire career as a nurse. So, and you met the challenge, and it sounds like you did awesome. So
Yep.
good, excellent. Anyone else have anything to share anymore about just specific classes or experiences? No? Okay, I'll move on to the next question then, just to keep us going here. So, what other experiences, maybe outside of the classroom, have you had in your program, or maybe just in at Northern in general, or maybe you could speak about any research opportunities, internships. I know we've touched a little bit on these, but maybe there's something outside of the programs that you've been involved with as well, like groups or um, anything like that? No one, Elena?
For the clinical lab science, for the 2-year and the 4-year degree, you do 6-month and 5-month internships. So they have affiliated hospitals in Michigan, Upper Peninsula and Lower Peninsula, and you get to select your top 5 choices, I think it was, and then they place you based on ranking of grades, your attitude in the school program and stuff like that, and just so many other things. And then you're sent out into the real world and you're working 5 days a week. You
Wow.
also have your school stuff that you have to do because you're studying for your board exam that you have to take after this internship, as well as the NMU exam that you have to take in order to take your board exam. It was not easy going to work every day unpaid 5 days a week, but you get through it. You learn so many things. You take your exam and it's a big relief. It's fun. It's very interesting. You meet a lot of new people,
Okay.
workers and patients as well. So very
Yeah,
interesting.
good. And so I have a question for you, Elena. Now, you said that you're studying for a board exam, but are you taking classes as well, or is it you do the coursework and then you're in the internship?
So you do roughly about a semester and a half of classwork here at Northern.
Okay.
And you have regular classes and labs with those. And then when you go off to your internship, there's like classwork with inside of that. So you're still taking a couple exams on the specific areas of study like blood banking, microbiology, hematology, urinalysis, and you do all that stuff. And then the NMU exam is just basically everything that you've learned compiled into one big exam, as well as being about the exact same as the board exam, just to prepare you for it.
Okay, I've seen it. Got it. Thank you. Gino, did you have something? I thought you were ready to go.
I was, but that's okay. We're back at it. In terms of things outside of the class, that applied towards the medicinal plant chemistry major, what NMU with the faculty that have kind of orchestrated the medicinal plant chemistry program have done for students is give them an immense amount of access to internships in terms of companies that want to work with students in the medicinal plant chemistry program through an online internship program called Handshake that is through NMU. And so I personally haven't obtained an internship yet, but plenty of classmates that I am in class with have gotten internships where they work in the field. They work on a cannabis farm, for example, or they work out in an extraction lab where they extract plants or just compounds from plants to make them into products, essentially. So the teachers are kind of networked with different companies to come and actually, have seminars where these companies come and talk about their what their company does and what kind of products they produce or what kind of services their company serves. And it gives students great exposure to what is available outside the university to them.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Of
We
course.
do have one question in the Q&A, and it was, does this webinar apply to sports science majors? And it looks like we do have Maddie here, who is a sports science major, right? Athletic training specifically for a master's in athletic training.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the question is, but
So I think they're just generally looking for more information about the sports science majors.
okay. I can give a little bit of information. I'm not sure like fully about it, but like for sports science, if you don't want to do the 3+2 in the athletic training route, you can just do the 4 year of the sports science. So you would be taking like the full course load for just sports science. You wouldn't do anything for like the athletic training stuff.
Okay. But if the individual is doing athletic training, they do 3 years of sports science and then 2 years for the master's in athletic training.
Yes, correct.
Okay, got it. And then internships, you talked a little bit about internships already, Maddie. They were just wondering about, are there specific internships related to the master's degree or in sports science?
Yeah, for sure. So right now what we do is we go through our clinical rotation. So it can be anywhere on campus. Like we have a bunch of athletic training rooms on campus for different sports, like swimming, football, hockey. Like they all have training rooms that they go to get treatment or anything. So we can volunteer or we do our clinical rotations there. Or like for myself, I'm at the high school, so they have that rotation. But our last year in the program, which will be the second year in your program in winter semester, you do an internship wherever you like. It can be anywhere. It can be in Marquette, it can be at home, it can be anywhere really. So that'll be, and I don't think you'll be taking classes then, but you'll be studying to take your BOC exam, your Board of Certification exam to become a certified athletic trainer.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for answering that. Okay, so next question would be, what are your relationships like with your professors? So you can talk in general, or if there's a specific relationship that's real strong, you can elaborate on that. But Bethany, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
I think generally the faculty here are very supportive. They want you to succeed, they really do. I can give a specific example too, because Eric Autumn is the pre-med advisor, and he's also the professor of my Stella Millette class right now. And that class, because of the coronavirus, it got split into 2 sections, the 7 a.m. and the 8 a.m. And like just so we can all have the option of attending in person. And I volunteered for the 7 a.m. because it was over the summer and I thought I could do that. And every single day I have slept in. I think I made it once, but he posts the recorded Zoom lectures on Educat, and it's literally a spectacular resource. So I had emailed him the other day and I was like, hey, like kind of not feeling great, haven't been going to class, sorry, don't think I don't care about your class, it's fascinating, whatever. And he called my phone and he was like, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. So I mean, like the faculty here really do care. It's a very supportive environment.
And it sounds like he's working hard to make it accommodating to those who can't make it to class, or are choosing not to come to class for whatever reason. So good, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Sarah?
Yes. So with the nursing department, we generally have like smaller class sizes just because it's a competitive program. There are roughly 40 students in a cohort. So you get to know everyone in your class and your instructor pretty well. They all, like all of my instructors at this point, know me by name just from being in class. I work for the School of Nursing, so some of them know me from that, but they all know you by name. They know like what's going on in your life. They all want to meet with you and talk with you about like, hey, what's not going well? Like I failed an exam my first semester because it was the Monday after spring break, poor time for exams. And I was stuck on an international flight that didn't get back until like 2 or 3 a.m. And I still made the dumb decision to go to the class and take the exam. And my instructor like emailed me as soon as like grades were posted and was like, hey, you didn't do super great on this. I require that all students who fail the exam meet with me. And in nursing school, failing the exam is anything below a 73%. So yeah, little different than like normal failing, but like we call it a nursing fail. But but I had actually like failed that exam. And like I met with her and I honestly just like cried in her office. It was bad. But she was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I'm really understanding about this sort of thing. If you had told me that like you were stuck in the airport for so long that you like were gonna be sleep deprived, I would have let you take it like a day later. I know that I'm like a strict instructor, but like I care about your health and well-being and your grades. And then she worked with me through like the questions and test taking tips and things like that, because a lot of the nursing classes use what are called like NCLEX style questions, which is the board exams that we take for licensure once you graduate. So they're trying to prep you for the exams once you're done with the program, like right from the get-go, and they're really hard. But like she gave me lots of tips on like how she kind of writes questions and like how you have to go about answering them, and that was really helpful. But like they all really care about you in the nursing program, about your health and well-being, as well as your grades and how you're succeeding.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else have any stories about their relationships with professors or anything they would like to share along the lines of that? Maddie, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm really close with all of my professors. We actually only have 3 in the program. So there's 9 of us in our cohort, like all together, because like there's a cohort above us. Those are the second year master students, because that was when it became like ready to go. Like the program started like last year, so we're the second group to come in overall. And so all of my professors are super great, and they really like Bethany said, they really want you to succeed in all of your classes. We actually just met with our professors, and well, my main professor is Julie Rochester. She's like the head of the athletic training program, and she said, you know, I saw you didn't do well on your exam, and I said, yeah, I'm just not a good test taker, and to me that just means I need to study a little bit harder, you know, and just kind of take a deep breath and go for it. And she said, well, if you ever need any help studying, you need to go over stuff with me, like I'm willing to stay later and help you. And like that just to me shows that she really wants like me and everybody else in the class to succeed. So
Awesome. That's so amazing. I just love that they have that the opportunity to do that with students. And if it were a bigger cohort, I think it might be a little more difficult to meet with every single student and help them along and help them succeed. But it's nice that professors are able to do that, and they'll give you their time to do that. So great. Good. Elena, did you want to, I thought that maybe you had your mute off if you wanted to share on this one.
Sure. Just like everybody else said, they all want the best for you. They wouldn't be here if they didn't want to help you. All of my professors and all of us, we're all on a first name basis. It's easy to just walk up to them and say, hey, how's it going? You tell them your life story. They actually care. Every year they have a Christmas party at one of our professors' houses, and all of us get to go. But unfortunately this year, I don't think that's going to happen, which is very sad, but just fun things like that we do together all the time. And we have our caramel apple sale every year as well, and we get to make them together and sell them together. So you find things within your groups and you just have the best time with it.
Mm-hmm. And those caramel apples are amazing.
They are so fun to make, but they're so messy.
So good. They're so good. So there was one question on the Q&A, and it is, for the nursing program, would you mind speaking about your clinical rotations? So
Sure. Yeah. I don't know specifically like what you want to know. If you have more specific questions, you can ask me. But basically, once you get accepted to the nursing program, there are 5 semesters in the program. The first semester is fundamentals, and generally that clinic is held in a nursing home here in Marquette, and it's really good. It's kind of doing similar to like what a CNA would do, but it's really good because it's like a first interaction with someone, like learning to take their vitals, interacting with them, getting them ready for the day, showering them, all of that, very early in the morning. But a really good clinic overall, working with elderly. This semester that changed a bit because of COVID. They aren't allowed in the nursing homes, but I'm not fully sure what they're doing with that then. I think they're in the hospital actually. And then your second semester is Med Surg 1. You start in the hospital and you're generally on the 6th or 7th floor here at UP Health Systems Marquette. which are the medical surgical floor for 6th, and then 7th is neuroorthopeds. And you assume care of a singular patient for an afternoon and then the following day. So it's like noon to 6 on like a Wednesday, and then from 7 to 3 on the following day, so Thursday, whatever that might be. And you like assume care of that patient as like a nurse with under the supervision of your instructor and the nurse that actually has that patient. Let's think. Third semester is Peds OB. So you'll either start in pediatric clinics or your obstetrics clinics, and then they'll swap halfway through, but the lectures are like throughout the entire semester for both those classes. For peds, you do a lot. You go to preschools, you go to the hospital, you might be like in the ER doing like peds rotation, so you'll just take any pediatric patient that comes into the ER. I went to WIC, which is the health department, learned a lot there, very different. And then for OB, generally you are on the labor and delivery floor of the hospital or in the NICU. You also get to do that for peds. I don't think I said that. But being in the family birthing unit, I missed out a lot on that clinic because that was second semester for me last semester, like the second half of the semester. So mine was all online. So I can't tell you too much about that one. And then your fourth semester is what I'm in right now, which is community psych. So you have 2 clinics running the entire semester. Community, you have like a placement. A lot of people are work with school nurses locally. I work with an agency called Friends of the Elderly. And then for psych, you're either working like at the warming center here in Marquette, or I had rotations on the psych unit, which is the 5th floor here at UP Health Systems Marquette. And then your 5th and final semester here in the nursing program, you do Med-Surg 2, which the first 5 weeks are normally back in the hospital on either the Med-Surg unit, neuroortho, you can do cardiac, ICU, ER, a lot of different things for that rotation. And your placement will be like set for the entire semester, like you will do cardiac for that entire 5-week clinical. And then after that, we actually offer something called transitions, where traditionally you get to go somewhere else if you want to. You can stay here in Marquette, but we have connections with a lot of hospitals in normally the Midwest is where most of them are. And you will, for the last like 5 to 7 weeks of the semester, work under a preceptor at that hospital. So you will work a nurse's schedule with that nurse, kind of like assuming care of their patients under their license. So you're doing the work, they're just kind of there to help you and guide you, but it gets you used to like that full nursing schedule, because it might be working 3 12s in a row, might be working night shift, it might be working 4 on 4 off. It's just whatever that nurse works, you will work for those weeks until you get your clinical hours. And that's also a really good way to get your foot in the door at some of those hospitals to potentially get a job there. So
awesome. That is quite the rotation that you have. Wow.
yes.
So we have about 5 minutes left, and we have 2 questions on our Q&A, and then I have one final question for everyone before we go, and then just a little summary of our night here. So it was directed towards the athletic training program, and they would like you to talk a little bit about clinical rotations or how you get experiences. So
yeah, for sure. So so you start in the summer for your master's program. So you start in the summer. So I started this summer. You start the summer, you learn a little bit about the background of like the lower body. So you learn about the knee, the ankle, the foot, the hip. And then you get to use those skills in the fall semester, and you get to do that for your first clinical rotation. So you can be put in like the injury evaluation care clinic, which is on the 2nd floor of the PEEF. Which is where most of our classes are held. And then, or you can go to other rotations like in the Dome or the Berry where hockey plays. You can get basketball, volleyball, lacrosse, all of the different sports that we have. And you do that for the next couple semesters. So you go through your first year in the first semester, second semester, and then your first semester of your second year. And then that last year that you are in the program, you get to do your internship. Like I said, like you can go anywhere you want. You can go in Marquette, you can go, anywhere, honestly, anywhere. I know a couple students like in the program a couple years ago that just had the bachelor's degree that did internships for like professional football teams, like the Green Bay Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm trying to be one of those people. So trying to get it, like, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. I want to try and be an athletic trainer in the NFL. So trying to work toward that goal. But first got to get certified. So
Wow.
working toward it. Yeah.
Good. And then the final question here, and then I have that one final for everyone. So for your placement for med surg, this is towards nursing again, to get decided, how does it get decided? And is it based on your specialty? I think it's her question.
It was Med Surg 2, it said, correct?
Med surg 2, yes, thank you.
For Med Surg 2, you kind of, at the beginning, you put in like, I don't want to say like, you basically say like what your top 3 choices would be. And then the people with the highest GPAs basically get their picks first of what they would want. So it's kind of like, for example, I would want to work in an ER, so that would be my top choice. And then like cardiac, ICU, something like that. And then it's just kind of based on where everyone else in your cohort wants to go in the hospital and where they have room for placements.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So here's the last combo question. And so the first part being, what has been your favorite Northern experience? And the second part is, why did you choose to come to NMU? So if someone wants to jump in and go first, you can, or we can just go in order. So who would like to be brave and go first? Oh, Elena, okay, go ahead.
So my mom and my aunt came to school here back a while ago. And I just applied and just came up for a Wildcat weekend actually. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll go there. So I just came here.
Nice.
I met all of my best friends my freshman year in Chem 111 with Dr. Recker, the best. And we just have all been the best of friends ever since. And that's probably the best thing that has happened.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, who else here? Gino.
My favorite Northern experience so far has been being able to see the Northern Lights in such intense and specific color up here. That was pretty much outside of school. That was the greatest experience. I was with my family as well, and we all got to see the Northern Lights, and you don't really get to see those too often downstate or just anywhere with a bunch of light pollution. So that was amazing. And then the reason why I came to Northern was specifically for the program because of how unique it was. And now the program is extremely developed into something that it wasn't when it first started, and it's going to keep changing for the better.
Yeah, awesome. All right, how about one more, and then we'll close on that. So Sarah, go ahead.
That works. I came to Northern. I found out about Northern because my parents went to Michigan Tech, but they don't have a nursing program, and they haven't since 1986. So they weren't too upset when I was more into Northern than I was MTU. But honestly, Northern has an amazing nursing program, and it has some of the highest NCLEX pass rates in the state. And it was affordable, which was great. Lots of scholarships offered. And then my favorite NMU experience is also similar to Gino's, is just getting to be outside so much. I really liked seeing the ebb and ice caves and getting to like hike around those and seeing the Northern Lights and just everything outdoorsy that you can do in the UP, because I am from the suburbs of Chicago. So
quite the experience then, very different.
yeah.
It looks like we do actually have time for the others to share. So who would like to share their favorite Northern experience and why they came? Maddie?
Yeah, so during my senior year of high school, I wasn't really sure where to go. I was having problems like trying to figure out where I wanted to go because everybody talks about that experience of, oh, I step on campus and this is where I knew where I wanted to go. So I wanted that feeling and I was trying to figure out where that feeling was because I tried to check out like Western Illinois and I was like, oh, it's a nice school, like it's not bad. But I just really didn't want to live in Illinois anymore. I kind of wanted to just kind of venture out and kind of see what else was out there. And one of my basketball friends on the basketball team actually went to Northern for a little bit. And so I was like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out, you know? So my dad and I drove up here 6 hours for Wildcat Weekend. And I stepped on campus and I had that feeling. I just felt at home and I felt welcome. And that's when I knew that I wanted to go here. And it was actually because of the program. They sent me a letter saying that they were changing the program from a master or to a bachelor's to a master's degree, and you would graduate in 5 years with 2 degrees. And I was like, that sounds pretty good to me. I'll do that. So, so it's just like an icing on the cake. So that was, now I'm here. So
Awesome. Good, good. Bethany, I think you're the final one, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know. I have so many good experiences here. I love Marquette, but like my favorite one is probably meeting my best friends here. I don't remember the other question. I'm sorry.
Why, why did you choose to come to NMU?
Oh, well, it was affordable, but also it's just nice here, and they had a good pre-med setup, so it was just a really nice like transition, I guess.
Good, good. Okay, well, thank you to our student panelists. And on your screen, you see our schedule of events for the rest of the Northern Night sessions. So if you would like more information on different majors at NMU, you could consider visiting campus in person, or we have the virtual option as well. So you can set that up through NMU's campus visit program. We can schedule academic appointments with faculty in a department of your choice, which is a great way to hear about if our program is the right fit for you. So visit nmu.edu/visit for more information and to register. So if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to the admissions office at admissions@nmu.edu. And thanks again for watching this session of Northern Nights, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.